Alright, it's recording.
What are your opinions on social media as a whole?
Ask me the question again.
What are your opinions on social media as a whole?
I think social media is a very double-edged sword. You have two sides of the coin where you can get famous from different social media platforms. Then on the other hand, you can kind of there are ways you can get famous which aren't very moral, going out of your way to ruin people's days, harassing people. That's what we see a lot on apps like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. People ruining people's livelihoods just for quick fame and everything like that.
In what way, like what sort of media is put out that ruins other people's lives?
I mean, every media, but TikTok is the one that does it most particularly with the 1 minute system. So you kind of look at things like,
So you're saying that in 1 minute someone's life can be ruined?
yeah, that's all it takes. 1 minute is all it takes, really.
And like, what videos do you be seeing that?
So
Like, give like an example.
this isn't a 1 minute video, but for one example, this YouTuber Gideon, he pretends to go into a Gatorade facility to sell Prime and stuff. And in the video, he mentions that he pretends like he lies to the security to make it seem like he's part of like Gatorade or Prime. I forgot what he really said. But in doing so, lying to these security guards, it cost them their jobs. They've been there for years, and the one video, 10 minutes, their whole livelihood was just ruined. Because one person came on social media and wanted to be big and wanted to change the system. You get what I'm trying to say?
And what do you do on social media? Like, what's your purpose on social media?
Me?
I know you like social media a lot.
I have a YouTube account, and in the next coming months I'm going to start uploading more commentary style videos where I talk about my perspective on things that just hit me. Like, for example, I might go around and go through Dublin City, record, and I'll do a commentary over how I feel about a topic like how men should cry or what makes a real man. Or on the other hand, I'll do a more fun video with my friends where we'll just be walking around the town and just recording each other, just having fun, really. Then I would also starting to get into more interview style questions where I interview my friends and random people on their kind of topic of what they think about what I'm telling them.
And what topic do you think you're gonna branch out on? Since what you like, how do I put it? Men's health or like men's mental health. Is that something that you think that you're gonna?
Yeah, because in the last few years, there have been a lot of different things with men's mental health. You know, like we have our Andrew Tates coming onto the scene, kind of changing how men should be. Men shouldn't, kind of trying to reinforce that old stereotype about men. Really, just letting men know that men shouldn't cry. Men should be always strong. Men should never talk about their emotions.
So sort of like a podcast vibe.
Nah, kind of just more of a solo vibe, if you get what I mean. Just kind of saying like what I think about everything that's going on right now. Like my opinions on different things. I guess, yeah, you can call it a podcast.
And what would your strongest opinions be?
What, in the matter of men's mental health?
Yeah, like just men being quiet in general, or
I say there's never any shame in a man crying or a man reaching out for help. I know men want to be strong, and I know there's this part of life that make men want to be the provider, but your emotions should never affect how you do things, you know. Because from experience, when you don't talk to anybody, when you let things build up, that's like a burning building, you know.
yeah.
It's like a Trojan horse coming in. You hold all that in. Then when you release it, everything just gets destroyed.
How do you decide who to follow on social media, and what factors influence your decision?
Well, I like their style. You know, one of the first YouTubers I ever really followed was a guy named Sneeko, and he made the kind of videos that I want to make prior to his evolution into this toxic red pill guy. He made really good commentary style videos. A lot of nice cinematic stuff in the background. So he would be like, he would talk about his views in the world. He would make the kind of videos I want to watch. And I think what really factors in is like, we watch people who we want to be. Watch a sneaker, I watch a real confident guy who was able to talk about his problems and be able to rationalize his emotions before everything happened. And then when I was younger, when I was 17, looking at all that stuff, it really inspired me to buy a camera and just go out into the world and try and be more like him, if you get what I mean.
And what factors influence this sort? Oh, you already answered that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alright. What do you engage with on social media?
And what do you mean?
What sort of accounts do you engage?
Well,
what type of media do you?
It's kind of everything.
What do you like? What do you comment on?
Yeah, it's kind of things that I like. You know, like I like Spider-Man stuff. I like anime stuff. I like
so sort of like sci-fi.
Yeah, sci-fi. And then I like a lot of videography stuff. But I'm talking about more like VHS edits, like more Y2K cinematic edits. There's not really a way that I can describe it, but it's something I really enjoy watching.
And like, how do you feel when you're engaging with this sort of stuff? Because like, obviously, it must mean something to you.
So
this is what you're engaging with.
So like I said at the
First
start,
thing you said was Spider-Man. You didn't say sci-fi.
Yeah, it's like I said at the start. It's a very double-edged sword because when I look at a video like Spider-Man, right, I get really happy because that's my favorite superhero. That's a character that I'm involved with in life. But anime is more like it's like a TV show you like watching and you see all these edits of it. But when it comes to the videography kind of angle of things, the more I kind of get, a part of me is more jealous as to why can't I get up and make these videos, you know? Why can't I make the time to do these?
So you feel like if someone else can do it, you can do it?
Yeah. But then I don't do it, so it kind of eats me up inside knowing that I'm letting other people do what I'm supposed to be doing or what I can do, you know?
It's interesting that you feel that way. I still want to get back on the Spider-Man thing because that was the first thing you mentioned when I said how do you feel when you're doing this.
Yeah.
It's like, why Spider-Man? Spider-Man is just one superhero out of how many?
Yeah, I get what you mean, yeah.
Obviously, that must resonate deeply with you still.
Spider-Man is like one of the first superheroes I ever loved. One of the first movies I remember watching was Spider-Man 3. And ever since then, Spider-Man's been a character that I've loved all my life. It's weird to say something like that you love a character so much that isn't real, but
is it because of how?
It's how I can see myself in the character, you know.
Not even that, but like, is it how Stan Lee portrayed him?
Yeah. It's when Stan Lee wanted to make Spider-Man, he wanted to make a character that everybody can imagine themselves in, and that's something that I always loved.
He's facing real world problems.
And that's why I love him so much, because I can see myself in Spider-Man, you know. Like
the nerd in school.
When I have a bad day, I think about how Peter Parker would go through his bad days, how Miles Morales will go through his bad days. I pick myself up. Those characters, whether the world can keep collapsing and they'll always get back up, and that's something that's always motivated me to keep on going with anything.
So basically, you feel motivated when you engage with
Spider-Man content.
Basically, social media motivates you.
Yeah, I guess you can say that, yeah.
Are there specific types of content or topics that you actively avoid on social media, and why? Everyone has that sort of like...
Yeah, I'm just trying to think.
Black area on social media where they just do not want to go to, and I want to know what it is.
One thing I've been avoiding a lot is all these dating app stuffs. Because right now, Can I talk about like how like the people that I'm talking to right now? Like, can I get deep or should I just allow?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, nah, that's cool. But right now, I'm on a more spiritual journey. Trying to get closer with God. So I'm scrolling through TikTok and I'm seeing all these. You can find this woman 5 kilometers. She'll come over, or you can come over to her house. I'm seeing all this stuff, and
Not TikTok. You mean Tinder?
no, I get those ads on TikTok.
How do you get those ads on TikTok?
I don't know. I get.
What? What do you mean you get them ads? You tell me you get ads on TikTok that tell you that a woman can come to you.
Yeah, bro. I'm not even joking. I'm being so
I've
dead
never
ass.
even seen that on TikTok.
That should be popping up or everything like that, man.
So basically, so what are you avoiding? You're avoiding like seeking partner through social media.
Well, I'm seeking what they're trying to push on us. What they're trying to push is lust. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What they promote isn't you can find the love of your life. It's you can have a quick hookup and then you can move on to the next one. And that, with me trying to get closer with God, I see that and I get more disgusted, and I always actively just try and avoid stuff like that.
Is that it? Is that one of the only things you avoid, or is there other things? Because that's kind of I'd say a lot of people avoid that type of stuff, but at the same time,
I also avoid I don't like seeing people begging for likes and stuff.
begging for likes.
Like people will be like, please like this video, this and that. I'll be like, nah, I'm not watching. I'm not gonna support this.
Do you participate in any online communities or groups on social media? And how do these communities enhance or impact your online experience?
Well, the last group that I participated in a few years ago was a subreddit. You know what Reddit is?
Yeah.
So the last subreddit I was in was a Sneeko subreddit. Or no, I wouldn't say subreddit, but can I say Patreon?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was in a Patreon where...
You pay for that?
Yeah, I was paying for 3 to 4 euro months because dollar to euro exchange.
Yeah.
So I was in that Patreon, just learning new editing skills, and that kind of helped me be more creative and everything like that. And then obviously, I don't know if you know, but when this whole Andrew Tate stuff happened during 2022, Sneeko became more red pilled, so more on the side of hating women, hating all these just hating people like the LGBTQ community.
You say it's not, I wouldn't say hating, I'd say it's more...
But pushing a negative
agenda
on them. That's what I'm trying to say. Well, the reason I say hate is because there's a recent video that surfaced where Sneeko meets one of his young fans, maybe they're 12 or 13, and they come up to him and they're like, F trans women, being discriminatory, or not discriminatory, but
basically discriminating against
discriminating against them. And these are 12, 13-year-olds. So even though it's a negative agenda, he's also pushing hate towards all these different people, if you get what I mean.
So what you're saying is these sort of groups negatively push the negative agenda about other people.
So this whole 2022 summer red pill thing was something that really... It was a thing a lot of men wanted to participate in because a lot of people felt weaker. Because right now we live in a world where people are saying it's okay for men to cry, this, that, and that. But people are also trying to emasculate men at the same time. There's never any shame in crying, but at the same time, we have all these feminists trying to belittle men, trying to say we don't need these men anymore, trying to say that men don't have a place in this world anymore. Then you have a guy like Andrew Tate that comes in, and his brother Tristan Tate that comes in, and they kind of change the dynamic of things, and then they change the dynamic 10 times more by flipping it, saying all this derogatory terms against women as well. And this is something that negatively impacts a lot of people in this, or a lot of young women in this day and age.
And how has social media influenced your opinions on current events and news? Do you use it as a primary source of information?
Yeah, we do. Like, cause we don't have any TV channels on our TVs, so
It's more of a Netflix, Disney
yeah.
Plus.
So
type
the
of
only
thing these
reason I
days.
use my TV is for my PlayStations, for YouTube, Netflix, like Michael said. So I'll like during the riots, I obviously knew that the poor children and the guardian were stabbed and everything like that, but I never knew how deep it got until I opened my phone and I'll see fires, cars on fires, buses being robbed, buses being set ablaze. Likewise with Lewis is being burnt, police getting attacked. None of this I would have known if it wasn't for my phone. Same with George Floyd when he got killed. I was scrolling through Instagram, and then that's when I found out that another black man was killed like this. So when it comes to all these world events, social media really is my biggest source of information these days.
Because nowadays, like, you have your Sky News, you have your ITV News, stuff like that. But
Thing about those channels is now they post on TikTok as well.
yeah, like you're gonna
and
see,
Snapchat.
you're gonna see it there as well. So basically, you can't run away from the news.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be there before you be getting it at like 6 p.m. or something.
yeah, pretty much.
Do you think social media is a threat?
I mean, yeah, yes and no, because like there's so many examples. Like the two ones that I brought up were that YouTuber Gideon ruining two people's lives over a prank that he wanted to pull, and then Andrew Tate and all these sneaker people ruining young men's perception of who they are and who they hate. We'll definitely have more polarizing people like that in the future who will really shake up people's opinions on things, and not for a good thing, but more for a bad thing, because in this day and age, people are really easily influenced. You can say one thing and it could be so wrong, but as long as you have the presence and the charisma, people will follow you.
Yeah. So it's a thing where, like, what do you feel these threats are? Would you say it's people? Would you say it's the people, or would you say it's obviously it's the people? But like, would you say
it's what the people say?
It's what the people say. That's what the threats. That's what's trending.
It's what they say and what they do. Because those two examples, Gideon got those people's lives ruined for an action being a prank. Andrew Tate and Sneaker ruined all these people with their words.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of it involves everything: your actions, your words, your charisma.
Like, these people are seen as rich.
Yeah.
And they have everything. So why wouldn't people
want to be like them?
They're basically threatening the youth to try to be like them. They're emasculating women. They're belittling minority groups. So it's more of like, you're right, it is the people.
Yeah.
The people are the threats to the society of the younger generation.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
In what ways do you protect your privacy on social media? Are there specific settings or practices you follow?
I mean, so real. All I do is just decline the cookies that they accept. That's
just the cookies.
Yeah, that's all I do, man.
Do they have cookies on social? Yeah. Do they have cookies on social media?
Well,
do you get cookie requests on social media?
Nah. But when I'm browsing, like, you wouldn't. I don't know if you get people hacking you on like TikTok or Instagram.
Let me rephrase the question. So when you make obviously you have TikTok, Instagram, all that.
Yeah.
Is your account public?
Yeah.
On all boards.
Yeah.
So you don't really want it to be private. You don't limit who can see your stuff or anything like that.
Nah, because the only reason that I wouldn't be private or public, because I don't really have anything to hide,
So you're an open vessel, you're an open book.
Pretty
you don't really care what people see or think about you.
Yeah, even like if I cared, then I wouldn't have this YouTube account. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be posting so much so daily. You get what I'm trying to say?
And have you had any negative experiences with social media?
Not really, but one thing I had to realize when kind of trying to become a social media creator is you can't please everybody. Like, you could think you're making one of the greatest videos ever, and
Yeah.
then you'll have 10,000 people liking, subscribing, and then one person will be like, this video's crap. And then you just it kind of makes you realize that it's not everybody rocks for you like how you think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can't make content for everybody. You can only do things for yourself and the people who enjoy it.
And how much time do you typically spend on social media in a day? And do you feel it's a reasonable amount, or do you ever find that it's too much?
I think right now it's been way too much as of recent. I've been, ever since summer, I've been very lazy. Very, very lazy.
Yeah.
So with the laziness there comes what do I do when I'm lazy? So I'm just scrolling on my phone. One thing I realize is I'm always looking for the next funny meme. It's kind of like a drug.
Yeah, it's a drug.
Yeah, it's
like
a
you
drug.
always scroll and you're looking for
Yeah.
when I find this, I'm done. Let me just do my
Yeah.
phone and go.
And then you say,
and then you
yeah.
keep going. So like,
Yeah. So
like, would you say your social media screen time, is it too much or is it too little, or is it in the middle? Is it like be honest?
Beforehand it was 9 hours. 3 of those hours were for my editing, so for learning new skills, watching a YouTube video while I edit.
Yeah.
But now I don't really. That's the thing. I don't even edit videos like that anymore. So now those 9 hours are just me scrolling and scrolling.
Just wasting time,
Yeah.
basically.
Like today, I was supposed to start my project at 1. I started at 4 because I just wanted to see something that would make me laugh before I started this project.
Do you think social media is addictive? That comes in what you were saying, the drug thing.
Yeah,
it is addictive.
There's a lot of addictions we kind of overlook as a society.
Because you're not like ingesting it.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's legal,
It's legal as well.
and it's not like frowned upon, because in some ways you need social media, so people don't really frown upon it. But at the same time, this is a really big epidemic that will really hurt the younger generation. The other day I was at work and I seen a baby, and they're watching their show. Well, not a baby, but a toddler. They're watching the show and then they're playing games on their mom's phone. They're playing games. I'm just like, these kids' neurons are gonna be fried when they're like 10 years old. You know what I mean? Because
that's actually insane though. Because when we were at that age, we didn't have all these screens. These little kids are getting these addictions from like a few months old. Like,
yeah,
they're being wired to look at the screen from the get.
exactly, from the get go. Yeah, because if you take their phone away, a lot of these kids won't be able to live in solidarity. They won't be able to live in any quietness. Because some of these parents don't even want to be parents. They're looking for an easier way out.
Like some of these, when it comes to parents, like these are young. Some of these parents are young. Like,
Exactly.
people are having kids in their 20s, their early 20s.
Yeah.
And these are like Gen Z individuals that have been growing up with devices, phones, screens. The addiction comes from early.
Yeah.
So obviously, if the toddler is seeing their mum on their screen, they're gonna be on their screen.
Yeah.
Or see what monkey sees, monkey do.
Well, exactly. Amen.
So yeah, like it is an addiction in a sense, but the sad part is that it's not an illegal addiction.
Nah.
It's perfectly legal.
And there's no restriction. I mean, like,
you can't have restrictions.
When we were younger, Dad used to put on restrictions to us. And, even though we didn't like it, we had to abide by them, but
I always got past that.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. Like, there's only so much a parent can do to control their children in this day and age.
Because if you really want to do something, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
If you really want to see something, you're going to see it.
Like, even when Mom and Dad used to take away my phone, I would sneak in the dead of night just to get my phone back. You get what I mean? So, there's like, at a certain age, you can't control your children, because your children do what they want to do.
They have their own mind.
They have their own mind. They can control themselves. They're no longer they're still your kids, but they're no longer controlled by what you say to them. Do you get what I mean?
And are you aware of any addictive behaviors or habits related to social media that you have experienced?
This new 1 minute thing that's been implemented on almost every device: YouTube, social media, TikTok. 1 minute video. Even Snapchat right now, the app you're on. If you go to the very last tab, you'll see 30-second videos. This is what's happening right now because we can generate content off these videos. You get sponsorships for making these videos. So what people start doing is start uploading. There's a little renaissance that went on during the summer of this year. This Family Guy clip renaissance, where they have Family Guy clips over gameplay. If you get what I mean.
So yeah. And then when the video finishes, you're looking for the next part of it.
Yeah,
because that forms an addiction.
Yeah, an addiction. Yeah, and
I've been through that though.
Yeah,
I've been through that.
Guy, who hasn't, man? They were doing it. People thought,
it was all over my feed.
People thought they were doing it for the love of the game, but it wasn't that. When it comes to TikTok and all these apps, when you post a certain amount of times and you reach a certain game, you start getting paid.
That's the easiest way to get paid on TikTok. Everyone doesn't know. Like, you get a clip of Twitch or something, then they'll put a little like gameplay of Minecraft
or one of these
or
mobile
games, or something like that, and like, well, how many minutes of the videos? Like 1 to 3 minute videos.
Not even 3, only 1 minute.
1 minute, they're gaining money from it. Like, anyone can do it. Like,
cause now there's something that's, it's like there's something new that's really unlocked in everybody's minds, where like we can't sit past through a 5-minute video.
You can't, and I think like everyone's addicted to the shorter videos, the 1 minute, the 30 seconds, the 2 minutes. Like,
this whole
that's a behavior that's not overlooked.
Yeah, no, for real. This whole summer, every summer I do a movie marathon where I watch all my favorite movies. This summer was the biggest struggle I ever had doing it because I could barely sit through 10 minutes without trying to look at my phone, like trying to look at like the next meme I'm gonna miss out on. You know what I mean? Like this new system is a real epidemic, and it doesn't really get highlighted that much because everybody's on the epidemic. Old people, young people, middle-aged people, 20s, teens, and why would you? If it's not broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? So nobody's gonna.
It's an addiction, bro.
Real talk, man.
Have you ever unfollowed or blocked someone on social media due to their content or behavior, and what led to that decision?
I did, but I'm trying to remember why. Well, there was one guy that I was watching. I forgot his name, but he made these predator catching videos.
Oh, Chris Hansen.
Nah, it wasn't Chris Hansen. It was another one. But I found it was one young guy. You wouldn't know him. I found what he was doing really corny. You know.
What's corny?
Like the way he went about it. If you get what I mean. The way he went about it.
For someone that doesn't know what corny means, what would?
Oh, corny is like kind of cringe, just kind of annoying, in a sense. Cause this whole predators and all this kind of stuff is a real big deal, you know. And I'm watching these people just kind of take the mick, like kind of joke about it in a way.
So you feel like obviously catching a predator is.
I feel like it's like
good, but these people were taking it into their own hands. And that should be something for the law, not
like no. I wouldn't say some because most of the law doesn't really do this. I'm saying the way they go about it. Like you know EDP. Some people don't know this guy. You know EDP 445.
Yeah.
The people who caught him they were taking the mick out of everything, the way they went about it. I'm not talking about catching predators, I'm talking about the overall content.
Yeah.
They were calling Black Lives Matter hotlines and being racist. They were thinking because they catch predators, they have some black, you know the black card from Nando's?
Yeah.
They thought they had a black card in life. You know what I mean? So, so like I've seen things like they're they're going up to people saying, I have children in my basement, so I'm gonna do this to them as a joke, and it's like, bro, you're out here catching people, and you're pretty much seeing the same thing that they're doing. I'm like, what's going on right now?
So that led you to blocking them.
Yeah, unfollowing them. Yeah,
That's disgusting.
That's what
that is hard.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's just like, this is such a serious case, and you can't ever take it serious. So why should I take you serious? You know what I mean?
This next question might deal you. It's kind of deep still.
Man,
are you ready?
let me hear it.
Have you ever felt excluded or isolated as a result of social media use? 'Cause let's be real, like, who hasn't?
So to answer that question, when I'm not gonna cry. Don't worry, I'm not gonna cry. So when it comes to social media, the thing that I've really only ever been sad about is not being where I think I'm supposed to be. I started social media with a bunch of other people, right? And almost all of them have grown to exponential levels. Well, I've still been sitting dormant for the last 3 years of my life.
Like who?
This one girl, her name is Find the Sky. She was part of the Sneeko Patreon or Sneeko.
Oh, you're finding these people on the Reddit.
Yeah, and we were starting to
and
get.
Where are they from?
America, Australia, UK, and I'm just still here. But my biggest video isn't even 1K views. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it gives me a drive, but it makes me sad knowing that I'm so far behind.
Would you feel? Do you think that that's because of like how Ireland is in a whole? Like, it's harder to take off and reach new heights in Ireland due to how small it is and how small-minded the people here are. Whereas these people you're talking to from Australia, America, UK, it's easier for them to branch out and take off.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's what's making you feel like left out, excluded, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, like, do you think there's any way that you can change that type of feeling, or do you think it's out of your control?
It's definitely not out of my control. I think the only thing that are holding me back is my work rates. I need to get a good working system if I want to be at the level I want to be at. And while I need to really exclude what people think about me, you know, and really like hammer down on the work that I should be doing. So that's kind of all. That's why I really think about all these kind of situations. Once I eliminate those two factors, or once I start doing one of the factors and eliminate the other, then I'll be as big or even bigger than other people that I've started with.
Do you feel like if you lived in a different country, these circumstances would be different?
Yeah, I feel like part of me does feel like if I lived in a bigger place, you know, it would be a lot different. But then again, we can't really look at other universes, you know.
Yeah.
So I kind of like to. I've been trying to be more center and presence focused, you know. Kind of look at where I am right now instead of looking abroad, like the future, the past, or other possibilities.
Yeah, and what was I gonna say? Have you ever taken a break from social media, either voluntarily or involuntarily, and how did it impact you?
I did a few years ago, or a few months ago, I can't remember when. And felt more alive, you know. I felt like I could really get things into perspective. Because when you're looking at a screen for 9 hours of the day, you're not going out on walks. It's just kind of like, bro, you feel so worthless. Like today when I was talking about that projects, I told Michael we'll do this interview by 6, and I said let me get as much work as I can done. I scrolled on TikTok and Instagram for 41 minutes straight without actually getting to work. You know what I mean? It's kind of like apparently this social media stuff. Really, there's a mental clarity that comes with it.
In terms of what? Like how are you
In
getting
terms of,
clarity when you're just continually scrolling?
When you go to sleep, you feel worthless that you haven't done anything in the morning or during the day. When you wake up, you kind of wonder to yourself, is it going to be the same, or are we going to get something done today?
So you're saying the only break you take is when you sleep?
No, I say I've been taking more breaks. Like I've started going on walks, like through the woods and stuff, or just walking in general. I still walk with music in, but I just be going on walks and stuff just to like
Taking.
the atmosphere. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm trying to say.
Have you ever encountered or witnessed cyberbullying on social media, and how did it impact you or others?
Cyberbullying is probably, so a lot of people post reels and TikToks publicly, and to an extent there's no guidelines, you know what I mean? So people, some of the overweight will post themselves in a nice outfit, and the comments will be absolutely roasting them, like calling them names you've never heard of. And when you see that, you know, you can report the comment, blah blah blah. But then there are 10,000 comments on this comment section, and you keep scrolling and scrolling. There's no positive ones, and it just makes you think, what is Instagram, what is TikTok actually doing to prevent these kind of bullying? You know, likewise with TikTok, there are people who make videos and just get bullied for, because their videos aren't in people's tastes, so they get bullied for doing it, you know. And it's kind of like, when it comes to cyberbullying, back in the day it was kind of more a local thing. Now
it's worldwide.
Now it's worldwide. So if you want to post on social media, you have to be ready to
gain backlash.
You have to be mentally prepared for all the backlash you can get.
So social media is a mental.
It's a real
mental battle. Like you have to.
If you're a social media creator, then yeah, it's a very mental battle. You know what I mean?
Comes to my next question then. Do you feel that the use of social media has negatively affected your mental health or well-being in any way? If so, how?
There was a period where, let's say I was sad, right? And I would be on TikTok and I'll see a sad TikTok. And that, while being sad, I see these TikToks, I'm romanticizing my sadness. You get what I'm saying to you?
You're basically adding to it.
I'm adding to it. And I'm not looking for a way out of this sadness.
Yeah.
And this is what a lot of people do as well.
I hear that though. Like when
You know
people
what
be
I mean?
going through heartbreak,
Yeah.
to sad music,
This is sad music. People,
watching sad TikToks. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna get my ex back. This, Like,
that's
it
the
adds
thing.
to it.
It adds to it. And one thing I found when I first broke out, when I got TikTok, I had it for months. And then when I finally broke out of the TikTok, because I was sad for a little period, but when I broke out of that sad period, I found out that I wasn't really sad. I was only romanticizing my sadness.
Sadness is. Would you say sadness is just like a moment thing? But if you add to it, it will continue.
Sadness can happen for a while, but the thing about sadness is you can always break out of it. But with all these
so you're saying, like, this comes to like the men thing you were saying about the red pill, whatever. Like okay, you're sad, but you're saying you can detach from that sadness instantly if you just stop romanticizing it.
Yeah.
But do you not think it's good to feel your feelings?
I'm not saying you should never feel your feelings.
But you're saying it shouldn't be for a long period.
It shouldn't just be for a long period, because that's when it kind of leads to depression, you know. And you can barely get out of bed because you don't see the value of life.
And that's how you felt, like it negatively affected you.
Because being on TikTok, you like one thing and that becomes your whole For You page.
What does
algorithm?
The algorithm, yeah. The algorithm. If you're liking something and staying on one video for a long period of time, it affects you. Like
So what I realized was I was sad for my own period. I went through my own sadness. I had two paths. The path where I say, okay, Raf, it's time for us to get going. It's time for us to do our thing. Or the other path, I stay in bed all day long and I just keep watching these TikToks to, you know, feel my sadness. And I took the left path, you know.
Yeah.
And that's something that social media really pushes to you, you know, the For You page and stuff like that.
How do you handle disagreements or conflicts that arise on social media? Do you engage in discussions or prefer to avoid confrontation?
I prefer to avoid conversation.
It's never had that thing, you know.
There was a day where I had Amazon was taking money on my accounts because I forgot to cancel one of my memberships. So I went to the Amazon subreddit and read it. I say, guys, Sonny, please help me. Sonny called me an idiot. Say you're a moron. Wow, why did you can't see your subscription? So I just blocked that guy because I was like,
That makes sense. Never had that
guys,
thing.
never that deep. Like, who am I to be beef with somebody over Amazon?
Exactly. So
So like, I just prefer to
no, just cancel it. No, you don't know how to cancel it.
I forgot that I had the membership.
Are there any features or changes you would like to see in social media platforms to improve user experience or well-being?
Me personally, if I'm being so honest, I don't really care what they add. You know what I mean? There's not really that I'll see that they haven't already added. Like,
They're always adding something.
they're always added something.
Something that we need or don't need.
Need
You don't
or
really
don't
need
need.
it. Like
Exactly.
you do it out. So like, it's never really.
So I never really look too deep into it. Because, like I said, I'm on my own journey. I'm trying to depart from my usage of social media. So there's nothing really that social media could do to really draw me in.
Do you find yourself comparing your life to others on social media? How do you manage these feelings, if any?
Okay. So, right now, turning 20, I've been comparing myself to people. Just because there's a lot of things that I should be doing, you know. I should be driving. I shouldn't be the stereotype of broke college student, but that's the stereotype I'm in. So I look at people around, the people on my social media feeds, my age doing things, and I'm like, man, I wish I could do that. So when I see that, it really motivates me to grind even harder, you know, with my YouTube and my work. It really makes me want to go way harder than I've ever gone before. So, excuse me, so I could kind of live the lifestyle they can live. One thing I don't do is it kind of affects me because it's like I said in the middle. If somebody can do this thing, then I can do it. So what's the point of me being sad about it? You know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of my answer to that question. I do compare myself to other people, but I try to never let it affect how I think about stuff.
What influences do you think have a positive presence on social media?
What influences?
Yeah.
See, I don't really know, man. Like,
it's hard to find a positive role model on social media.
It's hard because these days there's kind of like there's really an incentive, you know. People only post for the money, for the popularity. I guess one positive person, even though I've really bashed this guy a lot, would be Gideon.
Yeah.
He turned his life to God. He deleted all his old prank videos because they serve the devil. It's not what he wants to represent as himself. I don't know if he's done this, but he might have made amends to the people that lost their jobs because of him. So seeing that change from one person to another was very inspirational to see, especially somebody who's trying to get closer with God. It's a really good thing to see that, you know, with all the things you can get caught up with in social media, there's still people who are able to really change their lives, especially people who are so close to the edge, you know. By the edge, I mean this whole social media whirlpool of degeneracy, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Do you find, or what, do you consume content from influencers that promote wellness?
Violence?
Wellness. You should, because I found this new podcast. I think it's called The Journey Podcast. Is it called The Journey Podcast?
Is it Georgianko?
Nah, it's Zach Cummins and Jake Moscato.
Nah, I never heard.
Look at it. Bro, you actually need to take in men's wellness because what you're going through is so many other men are going through, and these men talk for millions of men around the world. Like, the men's mental health thing should not be overlooked, bro. Trust me, it's really deeper than it seems. I'm not even gonna lie to you. You're saying the whole sadness, romanticizing it, like sometimes feel what you're feeling and taking all these new emotions. You only experience it once and then it's a new feeling again. So you're saying you don't take in wellness stuff.
No, I just don't have time.
Find time to, and like you'll realize a lot about yourself and
Definitely, yeah.
and childhood traumas and all that. What influences have a negative presence and who promotes negativity?
Oh man, I've been waiting for this question. All these LA guys, man. I don't know if you know any of them. See, this is how you know I'm too deep in this social media thing. You have the guys like Neon. You have guys like Jack Doherty, Sneeko.
Toxic guys.
All these toxic guys. Neon guy, he promotes so much hate towards everybody. The guys are
Fuzi. Don't use any bad language.
Yeah,
Fuzi,
that guy's a weirdo, man. Jack Doherty's the guys they're all these people who flex their wealth, their money, and you're just kind of like, bro, this is
toxic,
so
enough.
It's toxic.
The people that are watching it don't have what they have.
Yeah,
they're just commenting.
Then you have guys like Sneeko. He's just converted to Islam, but on his converts, he's bashing Christianity. He's saying Jesus is a Muslim. How can Jesus be Christian? How can you be Christian when Christ is in your name? I'm just looking like this guy. 2 years ago, this guy was one of my biggest role models. In the present time now, I can't even stand this guy. He's so toxic for no reason. I just kind of like, it's like history repeating itself, you know? You had your guys like Rice Gum, all those FaZe guys back in the day. Then back in the day, you had the prank channels who would go to places in the hood and they would be making black people look bad. There's a guy, Roman Atwood, he done this fake prank, yawning in public, and then all of a sudden a black guy comes up to him for yawning too much and gives out to him, you know what I mean? And just kind of like, you always have people who are going to post degeneracy. Then you're always going to have the vulnerable people who are going to watch the degeneracy, you know what I'm trying to say? So It's just kind of like, man, you just kind of gotta stay clear of those kind of people, even though all that stuff is easier said than done.
What measures do you take to ensure a healthy balance between your online and offline life in relation to social media?
What measures do I take to split them up?
Yeah, like how do you balance online, offline?
Right now has been like the worst period for me, just kind of cause what's it called? Just been so addicted to that stuff recently. You know what I'm trying to say?
It's hard to get off it.
It's hard. When I first got TikTok last year, I thought to myself, yeah, TikTok, just gonna use it 5 minutes a day, this, that, and that. Then now I'm sending my friends TikToks every single day. Like, bro, people know me just because I be reposting everything I see on TikTok. Like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of hard, even now with college and everything. It's kind of a stress reliever. You have this hard assignment. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Let me scroll on TikTok to get my mind off things. And
so there's no balance, basically.
Right now in my life, there's no balance, but I'm not going to say in the next year, but in the next coming days, I'm going to really try and put a balance on these kind of things, you know what I'm trying to say? That's it. Yeah. I appreciate you for having me on, man. You know, I might upload this to my YouTube, you know, if that's cool with you, yeah. Man, that's real talk.
Send me that. And
of course.
Send me a transcript if you can. Can you do that?
What's the transcript?
Transcript it. What we're saying. Like a script, can you do that?
Yeah, that shit's gonna be too hard, man. You're gonna have to pay me for that one.
Yeah, I'll pay you.
You'll pay me.
If you can do it by tonight.
Tonight is crib.
When's your assignment due?
I don't know, I see tomorrow. I'm working tomorrow. Working the clothing shift tomorrow.
When you gonna have your assignment finished?
I'm gonna try to finish it by 10.
If you finish it by 10 and you do late work for me, I'll pay you 15.
15.
15. If you can finish transcript for me.
What time is it now? 6:50. Where are you uploading this?
It's for college.
Man, for real talk, man.